Your symptoms and how you describe your symptoms are absolutely crucial in your C&P exam.
Whiskey 9 Yankee 7 November Golf, over.
A 70% mental health rating will definitely paint the path forward to 100%, and there are tons of secondaries that stem off of mental health. But the question is, how do you get a 70% rating for mental health? Now, this is some very serious stuff, so prepare yourself mentally. What we're gonna do is pull up the 38 CFR and talk about symptom severity for each symptom listed. I'm gonna give you examples of what this could look like in your life, but it's not gonna be the same for everyone. Mental health, regardless of the rating, is going to evaluate your occupational and social impairment. We're gonna cover every symptom, but there are 3 symptoms that I'd like to highlight. Suicidal ideation is a big one, and if this is you, you may think that the world is better off without you in it. You may have a plan to commit suicide. You may reminisce in death or reminisce in killing yourself. And if this is you, stop everything you're doing and call or text 988. The second one are panic attacks and depression. If you have panic attacks, you're going to want to talk about how often they occur and how severe they are, whether they are small anxiety attacks or full-on severe panic attacks. What a severe panic attack could look like, and for the first time, it's going to scare the crap out of you because it might feel like a heart attack, where your heart is pounding so hard and your whole chest cavity moves. That's going to induce your anxiety. It's going to compound each other from panic attacks to anxiety, back to panic attacks, back to anxiety, and those are going to feed off each other. What your depression could look like, and there are many forms, but the most common is kind of like a cycle, where you have all this stuff to do that needs to get done, but you're so depressed that none of it gets done, and the issue kind of compounds because now on top of the stuff you didn't get done, there's more stuff to do, but then you're depressed, and there's more stuff to do, but then you're depressed, and that's how you kind of get in this severely depressed cycle that will have an impact on your occupational and social life. And the third one, and this one is very near and dear to my heart, but it's the inability to establish and maintain effective relationships. And so if you have kids, you may struggle to connect with them on an emotional scale. If you're married, your spouse and your partner, you may struggle to communicate your feelings. And in fact, when you do communicate your feelings, this might come out in anger, or you might be short-tempered, and it's going to be hard for you to regulate and articulate your feelings. Looking at the other symptoms, which are also important, starting with obsessive rituals, like severe ADHD. Not just having ADHD, but your obsessiveness interferes with your day-to-day life. Your speech not make sense, or there may be crazy outbursts, saying things that are extremely awkward and you're unable to read the room. Think of dark humor, except way more intense. Now, the VA rated dark humor, I'm pretty sure we'd all be at 100%. Impulse control kind of goes with speech, but your actions could be violent, and at times you're easily provoked. You might have anger issues. When you get in an argument with your spouse, you might break things in your house. Spatial disorientation, and this is common in veterans that experience TBI and have memory deficiencies. The neglect of personal appearance, which is extremely common, and you have the ability to dress appropriately and shower, except you just don't. You might show up to your C&P exam in pajamas and a hoodie with some messy hair. And the last one, difficulty adapting to stressful situations, especially if you experience constant anxiety. This will not be good for you in a work environment. Something to consider is if you have some of these and not all of these, still try and go for 70%. And what your decision letter will say is most closely associated with, meaning you have some of the symptoms, however, your rating overall mostly fits with 50%. So if you are 50%, be sure to express these symptoms as they relate to you. The absolute best advice I could give for a mental health C&P exam, it comes in 2 parts. 1, be honest, be open, and be vulnerable. You cannot go wrong. And the second one is I want you to prepare yourself to get uncomfortable. Explaining your symptoms as they truly are, it's going to take bravery, and you might want to think about that and figure out how you're going to actually articulate those words out of your mouth. Your mental health CMP exam is not the time to hold anything back.